Now, basic concepts and few important points that were given by Euclid. Postulates. Now, postulates are certain basic facts which don't require proving. They are taken for granted. They are like universal truths which do not require any proof. And axioms also are the same thing. They are basic facts that are taken for granted. They don't require any proof. The difference between axioms and postulates is that axioms are valid throughout maths. So even for your algebra, trigonometry, etc., axioms are used, whereas postulates, they are specific to geometry. So both axioms and postulates are the universal truths or basic facts which we don't need to prove. We will use them to prove other results. So those are axioms and postulates. So those which are only specific to geometry, they are postulates, and those which are used generally throughout all branches of mathematics, they are axioms. Now, theorems are the conclusions that are drawn using certain logical reasoning or previously known facts and results. So basically you will be using these axioms and postulates to derive the theorems. So theorems require a proper proof. You have to prove them. Using what will you prove them? Using axioms and postulates and any other results which you might have proved earlier. Now, certain things which you have, concepts which you have already learnt in lower classes, but a proper definition that was given by Euclid for these points you will learn now. First is a point. Point is represented by a fine dot made by a sharp pencil on a sheet of paper. So this is something which we already know. Point does not have any dimensions. It is a very, very minute and a fine dot just to define the position of a point. Plane is a smooth surface like a wall, surface of sheet of paper or a smooth blackboard. These are examples of a plane. So plane is two-dimensional. It will have two dimensions. Line is a breadthless length. Example, if we fold a piece of paper, the crease in the paper represents a line. So line is unidimensional. It has only single dimension. That is one length. You can define the length of a line segment with a single measurement. So usually taken in centimeters, meters, kilometers, etc. So first we have the incidence axioms. That is, a line consists of infinitely many points. So while we were doing representation of rational numbers on the number line, we have already told you that between any two given rational numbers, you can have infinitely many rational numbers. So a line will also be same way. It will consist of infinitely many points. Now through a single given point, you can draw infinitely many lines. So if this is the point, through this I can draw any number of lines that I want to. So here I have drawn 2-3 lines, but more lines can be drawn which are passing through this point. However, if 2 points are given to me and using both the points I have to draw a line, then in that case I will be able to draw only a single line. So only a single line can be drawn which passes through 2 given points A and B. Collinear points. Collinear means, linear means line. So collinear means points which are lying on the same line. So 3 or more points are said to be collinear if there is a line which contains all of them. So that means all the points are lying on the same line. Intersecting lines, 2 lines which meet at one point are said to be intersecting lines, and the common point is known as the point of intersection. 2 distinct lines cannot have more than one point in common. Parallel lines, 2 lines L and M, they are said to be in a plane, are said to be parallel lines if they do not have any point of intersection, and they will never meet even if they are extended indefinitely. So this is how parallel lines are represented in a plane. So this L and M, they will go parallel even if you extend the line indefinitely. Now definition of line is that it can be extended indefinitely in both the direction. Whereas line segment, it will have a fixed length. So you will have a line segment of length, say 5 centimeter, 6 centimeter and so on. Line does not have any fixed length. Parallel axiom, if L is a line and P is a point which is not on line L. That means this is one line L and I have taken any point P which is outside this line. Let's say somewhere here. Then through that point P, I can draw only one such line which will be parallel to L. That is the parallel line axiom. Two lines which are both parallel to the same line are parallel to each other. So line segment, in given 2 points A and B on a line L, the connected part or segment of the line with endpoints at A and B is called the line segment. So you already know what a line segment is. It will have two fixed endpoints. It is a part of a line. So line can be extended indefinitely. It has no fixed length. But in that line, if I have fixed two endpoints A and B, then those endpoints will form a line segment having a fixed length. So interior point of a line segment, a point P is called interior point of line segment AB if P lies on AB, but P is neither A nor B. So same way when we tell you to have four rational numbers between two given rational numbers, let's say between 3 and 4, I ask you to find 10 rational numbers. So you are not supposed to include 3 and 4. Between means apart from those end points, the points which are lying in between. Congruence of line segments. Two line segments A and B, AB and CD are congruent if the trace copy of one can be superimposed on the other so as to cover it completely and exactly. So one line, if you keep on top of the other line, it should cover each other exactly. That is the meaning of congruence of line segments. So congruence directly means that length of AB will be equal to length of CD. So two congruent line segments have equal length and conversely, two line segments of equal length are congruent. Next is the line segment addition axiom. If C is any interior point of line segment AB, so you can see, observe from the figure, AB is a line segment. See, I have taken any interior point on the line segment AB. Then length of AB will be equal to length of AC plus length of CB. It should be CB. So length of AB can be written as AC plus CB. Distance between 2 points. The distance between 2 points P and Q is the length of the line segment joining them. That is denoted by PQ. So distance between P and Q will be the length of the line segment that joins P and Q. Midpoint of a line segment. Given line segment AB, point M is said to be the midpoint such that AM is equal to MB. That is the definition of midpoint. Line through M other than line AB is called the bisector of line segment AB. So if I draw any line passing through M, that is midpoint of AB, that will be called as the bisector of AB. And if I draw it perpendicular, that is angle between AB and that line, if I take as 90 degree, then it will be known as the perpendicular bisector. Now these are some Euclid's axioms, important ones which you need to know because you will be using it in geometry later. So first, Euclid's axioms are things which are equal to the same thing are equal to one another. So two things are equal to the same thing. A is equal to C and B is also equal to C. That means A and B should be also equal. If equals are added to equals, the wholes are equals. So equals are added to equals means you have two quantities which are equal to each other. A and B are equal to each other. You add 4 to A and 4 to B. A plus 4 and B plus 4 also will be equal. because A and B initially were equal and I am adding the same number 4 to both of them. So A plus 4 is equal to B plus 4 if A is equal to B. That is the meaning. If equals are subtracted from equals, the remainders are equal. Again, A and B are equal to each other. If I subtract 4 from both of them, A minus 4 and B minus 4 also will be equal to each other. Things which coincide with one another are equal to one another. Coincide means they are like A coincides with B. This is means that their values are equal to one another. The whole is greater than the part. So the entire thing is greater than a fraction of that part. Things which are double of the same things are equal to one another. So again, if A is equal to B, if I double both of them, twice of A and twice of B also will be equal. Things which are halves of the same things are equal to one another. Again, A and B are equal, half of A and half of B also will be equal. So all these are universal truths which do not require any proof. These are taken for granted. And using these we can derive other results. Now we come to Euclid's postulates. A straight line may be drawn from any one point to any other point. A terminated line can be produced indefinitely. So also we know a circle can be drawn with any center and any radius. All right angles are equal to one another. Now these four postulates are pretty clear. They do not require too much of explanation. All right angles we know are 90 degrees, so they are all equal to one another. Then with a particular center you can draw many circles with different radius. Terminated line can be produced indefinitely. Line by definition only means that it can be produced indefinitely. And a straight line can be drawn from any one point to any other point. If you have 2 points, if you have been given 2 points A and B, you can draw a straight line between them. So if a straight line, the fifth postulate states that if a straight line falling on two straight lines makes interior angles on the same side of it taken together less than 2 right angles, then the two straight lines, if produced indefinitely, meet on the side on which the angles are less than 2 right angles. Now it means that if I have two straight lines, AB and CD, and I make another straight line PQ on it, that means these are two lines and I have drawn a transversal PQ which is cutting both the lines. Then if these lines are extended indefinitely, on which side they are going to meet? They are going to meet on that side where interior angles on the same side of the transversal, that is 1 and 2. These are the interior angles on same side of the transversal. Where their sum is less than 180 degree, that side they will be meeting. So here 1 and 2 are less than 180 degree, it will meet on this side. In the other figure, if you observe, angle D and angle E, they are less than 180 degrees. So it will meet on the right hand side. Now however, here L and M are parallel lines. They are parallel to each other. So both 3 plus 6 and 4 plus 5, they are equal to 180 degree. They are not less than 180 degree. So on none of the sides, the interior angles on same side of the transversal are less than 180. Both are equal to 180. So lines will never meet in any of the directions. If you produce them indefinitely, they will never intersect. They will go parallel to each other. So therefore they will be parallel lines.